I need to react to what I think is one of the most impressive displays of fascist apologetics that I've ever seen. This video is going to be super quick and dirty. I have a whole last day planned. I want to go through line by line. I'm basically just going to stop and react and pause and just I need to move on with my day, but this has pushed me too far. I need to just stop everything I'm doing. Here we go.
I suppose I have had the same problems with once and maybe again President Donald J. Trump that are shared by many.
I doubt it.
It wasn't obvious to me at all that his first shot at the leadership of the world's most powerful country was anything other than a brilliant and unorthodox marketing scheme.
I agree.
Albeit one that succeeded beyond the wildest of imaginings.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
I knew him only at that point as a self-promoting, bombastic, quintessentially American-type celebrity, reminiscent, in my imagination, of Colonel Tom Parker, the morally ambivalent, although indubitably successful promoter.
So Trump indicates to Peterson at first pass as morally ambivalent. Just hold that in your heart, I guess.
Of Elvis Presley. However, Trump made a name for himself in the difficult business of construction.
Trump made a name for himself in the difficult business of construction by failing miserably and becoming the mockery of everyone else who was in that field, is my understanding. Prove me wrong.
Where, particularly in cities such as New York and Chicago, all manner of corruption and trouble had to be managed.
Managed or facilitated by Trump and his family.
A challenging matter to keep the projects going on time and within budget.
That's a perfectly checkable claim. How many of Trump's projects exist? How many were on time and within budget? Would anyone like to, anyone has that on hand?
Anyone who's ever undertaken a renovation of any magnitude knows how badly such things can spiral out of control.
Here's the first thing that Jordan does that really annoys the shit out of me. Anyone of anything, we immediately start getting into the big broad space where, don't you remember how exasperated you were the last time you tried to renovate your bathroom? Sure. Therefore, the next things he's about to say must naturally follow as whatever he's about to testify to.
Without diligent devotion of time and attention.
Right, diligent devotion and time and attention. You didn't just get frustrated and pay somebody else to do it. You didn't let it linger there indefinitely until you finally got around to doing it half-assed. Nope. It must be diligent, dedicated. That's what happened. Cool.
He managed, while doing so, to make himself quite famous, another feat that is by no means as simple as those who have never done it might imagine.
Fame, obviously, is going to be individuated in the person who's experiencing its perception. How and why you get famous really matters, and how you sustain that fame matters as well. Whether or not you want it matter. Like, it's bizarre that, like, this is immediately given as a, oh, I'm trying to, for an hour, recite a series of apologetics about how great this guy is. And here's one more little sliver of evidence I'm gonna slide in there that you know how hard it is to get famous, especially when you come from one of the most well-known developers of New York at the time kind of families. Yeah, fucking really shows you how brilliant this man is.
Somebody who was at the Michael Jackson concert in New York said, when you were seated, you got the loudest applause. People stood up and roared and cheered.
So maybe there was something to him on the diligence, attention, and negotiation front that belied his mere success as a celebrity.
Diligence, attention, and negotiation front. This we're all just extrapolating because he got famous or because Oprah in a clip once said he got a real big applause. Brilliant. Brilliant analysis. Follows super clean and right through. I see the logic.
After that, of course, he was co-producer and host of the reality shows The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice. These were highly successful and for a long time, particularly by legacy media TV standards, running more than a decade from 2004 to 2015.
And God knows how enriched we've all become because of reality TV.
He's also the author of 19 books, collaborating with various ghostwriters.
That's a fun way to state he has not written 19 books, as a way as though he has written 19 books. One of his ghostwriters, I believe, explained how little involvement he actually had in writing one of the books. It's worth checking out what he had to say.
And has been involved in a true variety of other business enterprises.
Been involved in a true variety of other business enterprises is a great way to say has had the money to throw his name onto absolutely anything in the hopes that it will generate some kind of income as well. It's kind of like saying, like, Google becoming a monopoly was allowed to experiment with and fail on dozens of projects. So aren't they awesome because they kept trying and experimenting and failing with obscene amounts of money that none of us got the chance to fuck with?
This history of entrepreneurial activity, combined with his successful bids for attention, speaks to two of President Trump's cardinal personality features. He is extremely extroverted, that is, both assertive and enthusiastic, although more particularly the former rather than the latter, and also at least relatively high in trait openness, which is the single best predictor of entrepreneurial/creative activity and prowess after
activity versus prowess are two very distinct categories when you're trying to assess somebody's consequences of their personality traits. But you see, it's this kind of shit that this is the apologetics part. It's not that you can be extroverted and a consistently failed entrepreneur and putting yourself out there. It's that, oh, there's a prowess there. Let's throw that word in. Simply because he's got the money to sustain himself independent of the balance sheet or the ethics of whatever he's getting into.
General intelligence. This makes him high in the personality meta trait of plasticity, which is characterized primarily by the capacity to change, grow, and transform.
Change, grow, and transform. Words on their own that Peterson is not trying to suggest cancer. But in this context, oh, this infinitely malleable manifestation of Trump, clearly it's a extended measure of his competence or prowess.
Something quite evident in the case of Trump, who is a very dynamic individual indeed, particularly given his age. Many people have been set in concrete with regard to their essential being.
But unlike them, Trump's dementia is dynamic.
By the time they're 30, not Trump. He reinvents himself constantly and with a high degree of continual success. That can happen by chance once, perhaps twice. But if it is sustained across many decades, there is something substantive and real at work.
Money. When you have the money to turn into anything that you want at any time, you can be the world's biggest fuck up and act as though that is not the case. So, we're right here at about 10 minutes. This is the furnace that is my head. And we're barely into this video. I really hope other people go in and like really meticulously piece this apart, because this is going to be like probably a series, because I don't want to just merely react. This kind of stuff pains me, but it also fascinates me. And not in the same way that like Peterson is fascinated with Nazism, and apparently, and I've carried so much water for Peterson over the years, is way before he got famous, and I've just watched it chip away, just year after year, video after video, and now we're here where I'm literally interrupting my day so that I can like exhale for 10 minutes. So part one, I guess, we'll see what there is to say when I'm done doing life shit. Thanks for your time.